So, what if you could just redesign society? I mean, from the ground up. Not just a few tweaks here and there, but a whole new operating system for how we live, work, and connect. Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today, a massive, radical blueprint for transforming pretty much everything, called the Protopian Gambit. The whole thing kicks off with this really powerful idea. Our current systems, the way we run our world, they're not just failing us, they're fundamentally glitched. Our whole operating system for governance, for our economy, it's seen as this obsolete piece of code that's creating way more problems than it solves. And this glitch couldn't be happening at a worse time. We're living in what the architects of this plan call the meta crisis. And this isn't just one crisis. It's all of our biggest nightmares hitting us at the exact same time. It's like a perfect storm of ecological collapse, broken institutions we can't trust, mind-boggling inequality, and technology that's moving so fast we can't even keep up, let alone control it. The stakes are, well, they're everything. Okay, so you've got this massive, tangled meta-crisis threatening everything. Where do you even begin to design a solution? You're probably thinking, okay, dense policy papers, academic conferences, political movements, right? Wrong. It starts somewhere you would absolutely never, ever expect. And that brings us to the first phase, what's called the entertainment Trojan horse. The thinking here is just brilliant. You can't force massive, world-altering change down people's throats. It just doesn't work. So if you want to get an entire planet on board with a new idea, you have to use the most powerful culture-shaping tool we have, a good story. The plan is to literally disguise this incredibly dense blueprint for a new civilization as a sprawling 11-book adult sci-fi series. It starts off familiar, tapping into the huge romance and satire genres to hook you in, can make you care about the world and the characters. But then it slowly ramps things up, moving into global espionage, and before you know it, you're reading about massive ideas like planetary-scale engineering. It masterfully eases the audience into the deep end. And to make all these huge, abstract ideas feel real and, well, less intimidating, the strategy leans heavily on this very specific, kind of cheeky Australian humor. And honestly, nothing captures this better than the P for Australia initiative. This purple urinal mat is the perfect satirical bait and switch. It seems like a silly joke, but it's actually the physical symbol, the totem, for a whole new political party. It completely deflates the stuffiness of old-school politics, and it acts as this hilarious gateway. You start by laughing at a pee joke, and 5 minutes later, you're deep in a conversation about regenerative economics. It's a genius way to get people to lower their guard. So we've got the story, we've got the hook, but how does this all jump from the page into the real world? Well, the plan proposes a digital nervous system to support the whole thing, a cyber-physical substrate to connect the fiction to our reality. In the books, characters have this cool sci-fi gadget, an alien necklace that acts as a neural interface, classic stuff. But in the real-world blueprint, this idea becomes something called the sovereignty stack. This is a proposed tech architecture that's all about giving you, not big tech companies, control over your own data. It's decentralized, local first, and designed to put power back in your hands. Now you might be asking, how does a decentralized network stay in sync without some big company's server in the middle? The secret sauce is a technology called CRDTs. The slide puts it perfectly. Think of it like a magic notebook. A bunch of people can all write in it at the same time, even if they're offline. And when they connect again, all the changes merge together perfectly. No mess, no conflicts. This is the tech that makes a citizen-owned digital world possible. And all of this decentralized data is meant to feed into something truly massive, the global sensorium. The vision here is to build a persistent, one-to-one scale digital twin of the entire planet. I mean, look at this table. It would pull in real-time data on everything from space weather and earthquakes to supply chains and even public sentiment. This would let us run simulations, basically test drive new policies in a virtual world before we ever implement them in the real one. Okay, so you have this incredible technology. But that's only half the equation, right? The blueprint is very clear on this. For a civilization to actually advance, the people have to advance too. And this next phase is all about upgrading the human hardware, the body itself. The problem, as they define it, is something called the Anthropocene toxic body burden. It's a heavy term, but the idea is simple. We are basically walking archives of industrial pollution. We've all accumulated this cocktail of heavy metals, microplastics, and forever chemicals inside us, and it's messing with our biology and even our ability to think clearly. So, how do you fix that? The proposed solution is a really systematic three-stage deep detox. Step 1, release. High doses of niacin are used to basically force your fat cells to let go of all the toxins they've been storing for years. Step 2, excrete. You jump into a far infrared sauna to sweat those mobilized toxins out. And finally, step 3, trap. You use gut binders like activated charcoal to catch any leftover toxins in your system so they don't just get reabsorbed. And to give you a sense of just how powerful this biological overhaul could be, get this. The full protocol goes beyond just detox. It includes advanced stuff like hyperbaric oxygen therapy. One proposed regimen was actually shown to lengthen telomeres in immune cells by over 20%. Telomeres are a key biomarker for aging. So we're not just talking about wellness here. This suggests a fundamental reversal of the aging process at the cellular level. Wow. All right, so you've engaged the population with a great story, and you've literally upgraded their biology. But how in the world do you pay for it all? Well, that requires a completely new economic engine, one designed to fix what the plan calls the incomplete ledger of modern capitalism. The solution is what's called a braided economy. It doesn't get rid of dollars. The fiat economy is still there, it's still essential for big global stuff. But you breed a second system right alongside it, a reciprocity economy. And its only job is to finally measure and reward all of the foundational work that our current system totally ignores. Things like taking care of an elderly parent, volunteering in your community, or restoring a local ecosystem. And a unit of account in this new economy is the community hour, or C hour. Now, this is absolutely crucial. This is not another speculative crypto coin that goes to the moon and back. Its value is permanently pegged to 1 hour of verified human work. That means 1 hour spent caring for a child is worth the exact same as 1 hour spent coding for a civic project. It creates a radical kind of equality. So, we have the people, the technology, the biology, and the economy completely redesigned. Now we can finally get to the last piece of the puzzle, building the physical world for this new civilization and setting our sights on its ultimate cosmic scale ambition. The first real-world testbed for all of this is called the Silica Citadel. The plan is to take Minjaraba Island in Australia, which used to be a sand mining site, and completely transform it. Using the island's massive reserves of super high-purity sand, the goal is to build a resilient, partially subterranean society. This would create a sovereign hub for everything from computer chips to advanced ceramics, totally free from the world's fragile supply chains. But that ambition doesn't stop at the edge of the atmosphere. A huge part of the plan is about ensuring humanity's long-term survival by becoming a multi-planetary species. And there's this audacious proposal involving the International Space Station. Instead of just letting that $150 billion marvel burn up in the atmosphere in 2030, the idea is to team up with someone like SpaceX, boost the whole thing into a stable, high orbit, and turn it into a permanent museum and deep space research hub. But who runs all this incredible new infrastructure? The blueprint proposes creating a permanent civic reserve workforce, kicking it off by retaining the 50,000 volunteers from the Brisbane 2032 Olympics. And to fight back against jobs being lost to AI, these workers would operate on a try-everything-once model. They would literally rotate through every imaginable sector, from farming to orbital telemetry. The whole point is to cultivate a deep general intelligence across the entire population, creating citizens who can actually manage these complex new systems. So there you have it, a mind-bendingly detailed, wildly ambitious plan that weaves together sci-fi novels, decentralized tech, human biology, and cosmic engineering. It literally touches every single facet of our lives, and it leaves us with the ultimate question. Is this a plausible blueprint for a better world, a protopian future, or is it destined to remain one of the greatest works of science fiction ever imagined? The answer, I guess, is still up to us.